Welcome back. Well, very interesting statistics you've got there. So if they all have red cards in our fight against corruption, does that mean that there are no successes whatsoever?
What we need to do is, first of all, there has been no success on corruption, because I don't know how you want to mark it. If between 1999, year on year, our best score on corruption, based on the global watchdog on corruption's own non-partisan, non-biased report, is that our best score is 2.7 over 10. You will be corrupt if you want to give that sort of result a pass mark. Chamberlain. So what it means is we've successfully not been able to improve our rating on corruption. It also means that as our leaders travel in search for investors to come and invest, they also need to go to those countries that have consistently been rated as being the least corrupt countries in the world.
It's amazing, going by what we have spent over the years from 1999 till date, talking about the fight against corruption, and every administration has given itself a pass mark when it comes to a fight against corruption. But with this damning scorecard, it doesn't seem as if anything has worked so far.
And you're right, Suleiman. Let's also look at the cost of corruption. So there's a body called Global Financial Integrity. They look at how much corruption costs a lot of developed economies. They say that between 2004 and 2013, a 10-year window, total illegal money that has gone out of Nigeria, $178 billion, an average of $7.8 billion per year. Now, depending on what exchange rate you want to use, that's an equivalent of 5 trillion naira on an average every year. In simple terms, it means for every naira the federal government spends in Nigeria, an additional 1 naira is illegally going out of the country. So when we look at what has happened in the past 2 to 3 weeks on the judiciary, now we're not going to talk about if it's legal or illegal, but what we know is a lot of money goes out illegally out of Nigeria. So the government is trying to find a way of recovering that. We're also not going to judge if that has been successful or unsuccessful. But how and why are we having a lot of raids in homes? And that's because earlier this year, the CBN and the NBS gave perhaps the greatest tip to the SSS on where Nigerians are keeping their money. And I'll explain. The CBN said that at the end of last year, the total amount in our savings as a nation was 11.3 trillion naira. However, that was a decline of what it was at the end of 2014, when it was 11.9 trillion naira. So we've seen a decline in aggregate savings of 600 billion naira. So people, in essence, were not keeping their money in their bank accounts. And also, were people spending money? The NBS showed that aggregate household expenditure has also declined. In essence, it simply meant the money were not out there, neither were the monies in the banks. The monies could only have been in people's homes.
We may look at another part of this sometime next week, but thank you for coming on this morning today. Well, that's a wrap on the program today, and that's a week it's been. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Usal.
Many thanks. I'm Sulaiman Alede.